This is Black History Moments on JSU TV, because Black history is American history.
Hello and welcome to Black History Moments here on JSU TV. I'm Meredith Hairston, Program Director of WJSU 88.5 and the Sipp FM. This year's Black History Month theme is a century of Black history commemorations. Throughout the month, we'll speak to various Mississippians on what that theme means to them. Welcome, restaurant business owner, Mr. Jeff Good.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I own the restaurant business. I own Bravo Italian Restaurant, Broad Street Baking Company, and Salamuki's New York Pizza and Ice Cream Joint. And all three of these restaurants are wonderful places that are here in Jackson, Mississippi, the place where I live and the place where I landed back in 1980 when my dad took a job here and deposited me as a senior at Murrah High. And at that time, roll blue. At that time, I met a guy who befriended me, and he and I became business partners a decade later when we came up with the idea for Bravo Italian Restaurant. So kind of the arc of my story with business is I moved here, I came from the West Coast, I was a fish out of water, I was loved and accepted by this community. I developed these ideas and brought them into fruition, and we're in the service business. You know, we serve people, and the community reacted and came out and supported us.
Sure. The
community also supported us by wanting to work with us. So I'm blessed to have about 210 people right now on the payroll. The vast majority of our employees all live in Jackson.
Okay.
To understand Jackson is to understand the demographic, and by definition that means the vast majority of my employees are African American.
You mentioned serve.
Yes.
So you said that you spent your life believing that a table can change things. Mm-hmm. How so?
That's a great metaphor. I'm in the restaurant business. I've got a place that's a takeout place, but the majority of our places have tables.
Okay.
You sit around a table and you eat. A table is a metaphor oftentimes for power, you know, board of directors and you know, presidential cabinets, and they meet around tables, and the question of what size is that table and who is allowed to have a seat at that table.
Right.
And the idea of opening the table up and putting the leaf in to make more room at Thanksgiving for more family, well, that's also a metaphor for power sharing and for opportunity. So for me, the question you've asked, Meredith, is twofold. Number one is hospitality to community to ensure that anyone who chooses to come and share in our product, to dine in our restaurants, is 100% welcome, and has been for the 31 years we've been doing this. And that sounds so trite, but if you go back 31 years ago in Jackson, Mississippi, that may have been a little bit of a different philosophy.
Sure.
But I waited tables all the way through high school and college, and I knew what it meant to be of service, and I knew that all customers were great and had value, learned a lot. So I always wanted my business to be that inclusive for all people, whether it was a redneck cowboy coming off the rodeo with his cowboy hat walking in and going, man, this place is fancy, or whether it was a kid from Jim Hill on his prom date, completely a fish out of water, sitting at Bravo, looking at this menu saying, I have no idea what these words mean. Hospitality means making that person feel comfortable, welcome, and engaged. On the other side,
yes,
leadership. My leadership is open to all in our restaurants, and the majority of my leaders are female or they're Black, because that is the market I'm in, plus the genius is there. My goal is to provide direction and to provide vision, and if you like my vision, come on board.
Yeah.
If you don't like my vision, well, you know, there's a lot of other places to be. So I think that idea of the table is my leadership table. I have a very democratic way of running my business, that I'm trying to understand what other people feel and see and think, because I know what I think.
Right.
And I need that genius from other people.
Absolutely. The theme for this year, as I mentioned, a century of Black history commemorations. How does that resonate with you?
Somewhat sadly right now, because when we're coming off of the weekend for MLK, we're in Black History Month again. Here we are at another cycle of our communal calendar. Another year has passed. Another year of 100 that is being marked this time around through this celebration. How long is the moral arc? How long, 100 years, where are we now versus 10 years ago versus 20 years ago? Where are we in this experience as a community? Mm-hmm. Newsflash, I'm not Black. So I don't have the personal experience of what it means to navigate this world as an African American, right, or as any person of color from any community in this world, in the United States, in Jackson, Mississippi. I do know what it feels like for me, and what it means for my religious belief, my Christianity, my belief of justice for all and opportunity for all. And when you look back for 100 years and you look at where we are now, are we building? My goal, and I'm a builder. I'm somebody who's created these businesses, and then much to the chagrin of my wife, if I have extra time, it's like, well, there's a board, or there's a thing, or there's something we need to work on. You know, I've been involved in city politics, I've been involved in community, initiatives, been involved in the Refill Jackson initiative, whatever it could do to do something better. We need to keep doing that, and all of us need to do it. And for me, 100 years in, where we are right now in 2026, I think we have an opportunity here in Jackson to see a true rebirth and a revitalization of community, yes, and assets. And our community is an asset. So this really sounds like a lot of circle speak, but you know what? It really is. And I want to always try to make sure that table is round and big so everybody can be on it. And I just remember when I was younger and I was an outcast and nobody knew who I was and nobody cared, I was oftentimes at the little kids' table. So I have the ability of now being at the head of a table. I sure do want to make sure, I want to make sure I can share that power and that joy with others.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Jeff Good. This is Black History Moments, and you're listening and you're watching JSU TV.
This is Black History Moments on JSU TV, because Black history is American history.